Here we go, back again with Tea Time Disc Golf's coverage of the 2019 2 Days in May. I'm Johnny Blaze, joining the booth today with Andrew Fish.
Thanks, Blaze. This is such a classic and special Mid-Atlantic tournament. I'm looking forward to the Blockhouse being part of the 2019 U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships.
All right, we're going to pick up on the back nine of the dark side, round two, with the MPO lead card again. So far, we've seen Stephen Miller come strong with 6 birdies, while Paul, he's just scuffled around with just -1, and his lead is down to a single stroke.
Yeah, Miller definitely making moves, while I'm sitting at -2, Chris -3 for the round. I think all three of us semi-locals are hoping to continue using our experience at this course to chip away at Paul's lead. So once again, we're seeing Paul McBeth, 4-time world champ. First trip to the Blockhouse, though.
Yeah, and you, 2-time champion of this after winning in a really awesome playoff last year.
Yeah, I was hoping to keep that magic going, but so far, not so.
There's plenty of time for some more magic. And then here's Stephen Miller, a local, just a Team Spotsy player down at the WVTI. They're the champions this year. He was very happy about winning that.
Oh, yeah, and super smooth. Here's the robot chicken, Chris Dickerson, out of Tennessee. This guy plays every weekend. It seems like he wins every weekend sometimes. All right, hole 10. Hole 10 is a really difficult hole to learn because it's a very much a blind shot. And you're kind of throwing at a high gap in the trees, and you have to hit that spot. You might have to get a little bit of luck, but more importantly, you have to use the entire width of this fairway in order to get to the basket.
This is definitely a course that you guys that have played this hole, really helps out.
Yeah, you need to have played some practice rounds out here. Steve has. He's going to go with a glow gator, very high, very right.
And very much in the fairway.
Yeah, that's about circle's edge.
Oh, wow.
Plenty respectable. I'm going to go with a Z Wasp.
Okay. That's your stable mid-range?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little lower than Steve. I'm planning on my disc to, oh boy, that's what happened, huh? Planning on it to glide out more than die.
Yeah, that was looking beautiful and caught those trees just on the outside there. And here's Paul. He's probably throwing Wasp also.
That seems right. And he hits one of those trees in the gap, boosts down to the right. It's hard to say what kind of look he's going to get from there.
And Chris throwing, was that probably a PA1?
I don't think so. I think he might have gone with something in the H series.
Okay.
And watching that shot, I think all of us expected it to be the best of the group. But it kind of ended up dying a little bit. So Paul is stuck in the woods, very low. He's going to have to go with a forehand roller and doesn't make it real far. So he's up again and has to just lay up. I've got kind of a weird look. End up being able to hit the pole, but that's just a 3, which is a shame given how good my drive had felt.
Oh, and here's Miller. Oh, he's at what, about 40 feet right there?
Yeah, definitely. Pretty clean line.
Oh, center of the basket.
Yeah.
Buckets.
You can see that up to down motion that I was talking about in the first round.
Yeah. Oh, we get a slow-mo for this one, too. Gorgeous putt.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know it to look at him. He just made a birdie, gaining a stroke.
On a very difficult hole. Ooh. Uncharacteristic again of Chris.
Yeah. For whatever reason, he just doesn't quite look comfortable putting right now. We saw him miss a short one. He hasn't gotten off the tee that clean.
Could be the scary surroundings of some of these greens. You push a little bit too long and you could be in total jail and miss your chance at a par.
Yeah, it's hard to say. The course is demanding. It's a long day. The conditions are playable, but still hot and humid. So welcome to hole 11. This is the fish hole. This is a backhand turnover for all of these players. It's possible to throw a forehand as well. You don't want to hit this gong at the corner. Otherwise, everyone on the course is going to hear it. And you need to use the entire width of the fairway. You need to start something on the left side and barely miss the inside tree in order to get to the basket.
Miller throwing a understable mid-range there.
Yeah, flat top DX Ching rock.
And he missed that gong. That was a great drive.
Oh yeah, a little more height and he would be under the bucket.
All right, here you are looking like you're throwing an ESP Comet.
Yeah, this has been my go-to flippy mid for about a year now. And I pushed the back wall more than I intended to.
Oh, wow. Oh, is that why it's called the fish hole?
No, not hardly.
That was a
So there's just a whole bunch of fish ornaments at this shed. And then the gong has a large fish on it.
Ah. Chris puts a great line. Oh, and great speed on that one, too.
Yeah, filters down to 20 feet or so.
What's Paul throwing here?
I'm not totally sure. It may be a really beat up X-Wasp. And he liked the way he threw it, but he said that he got a kick out to this kind of access road.
Not happy with that at all.
No, and in the last couple of holes, we've kind of seen Paul's frustration creeping in, saying he was throwing the disc badly, not thrilled with that putt. It's kind of on us to take advantage of that right now.
Well, that kind of comes back to what you alluded to in the intro of the front nine, that it's 3 hours of mentally grueling disc golf.
Definitely, and although this is a very short course, it's only the holes average just over 300 feet. It's all about patience. You know, we see Chris just kind of not have any emotion. He just got another birdie. It's important to stay level as you're going through this.
There's a great cleanup by Stephen Miller. And here you are, cleaning up your birdie. That was a great drive.
Yeah, it felt like about time. So at this point, Steven actually has the lead. As we go into hole 12, this is a downhill shot, about 300 feet. Probably looking to throw a straight, maybe a little bit of flippy putter. And speed control is super important.
It seems like that thing didn't want to flip enough for you.
Oh my goodness. So that's my flippy roach, and I loved everything about that shot. I thought it was great until it hit those trees, knocked me down 50 short or so.
Here's Chris with a PA4. Oh, that's got a great line on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much center of the fairway the whole time.
You can hear all the oohs and ahs from the gallery.
Yeah, you can see that we've gathered a pretty good gallery for just round 2 out of 4.
Well, that's what we'll have. That's what happens when you have Andrew Fish on the card, you know?
Yeah, they're coming to watch me, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Look at this. Look at this from Miller.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And Paul back to that big Z roach. A little bit of an Anheuser release. Leaks out. And he gets a nice stop. That was probably headed at least edge of the circle long left.
And still not happy about that at all. Here, our long bid. A little high. At least you gave it a chance, though.
Yeah. Looking back, I don't know if I needed to run that. It felt like the time to take a little chance and try to get a stroke on a playable hole, because we've got some difficult ones coming up.
And Paul from a knee was a beautiful birdie putt.
Yep.
I got to say, I love those pink shorts.
Yeah, you can see them everywhere on the course and construction site.
That was a beautiful putt by Chris.
Yeah, very focused. It might just be recency bias, but it kind of seems like he's back to looking comfortable and that normal routine we're used to.
Here's Miller cleaning up his birdie. We're going to have 3 birdies on this hole.
Yeah, 3 birdies, and then I take the risk. I pay for it and lose 2 strokes to everybody. And this hole got lengthened last year. It's probably playing about 40 feet longer than it used to. The ideal thing to throw here is either a backhand hyzer flip or a gentle flex shot, probably with a fast fairway driver or possibly a distance driver. Miller's going to go with that distance driver, try to turn it a little bit. And it comes out flat instead of anhyzer.
Looks like Chris is using one of those hybrids. And the same thing. Release a little early, not enough turn on it.
Yeah, he got up there a good ways, though. He probably will have a little jump putt out of that.
And Paul hits the exact line he wanted.
Yeah.
And gets the exact result he wanted.
Yeah, 2 nice little pinballs there. He said he used up all his good luck in one hole.
Well, it's a pretty good hole to use it on.
I like that line. I'm going with a vulture here.
And it looks like Paul used up all the luck on this
Yes,
hole.
he did. There's a little pile of rocks by the old pin position, and I found it.
I'll just make sure you kick that over next time.
Or something.
That was a great pit by Miller.
Yeah, Miller with that dart, giving it a chance to go in.
It was a good bid there by Chris. And here you are for your birdie. A little high and right.
Yeah, that feels like 3 or 4 putts I've had that have been very close to going in. And, that one wasn't good. It shouldn't have gone in. But it's frustrating to feel like I'm very close but not quite scoring. I think Chris is probably about the same way.
And even sometimes when you do hit the chains here, they just don't catch it anyway,
All right. And now coming back across this same valley, this hole has also been lengthened, but it's the tee this time. Probably looking at 380 total. Probably a straight fairway driver thrown out the gap. And you kind of want to hit a little bit short of the basket for some speed control. Paul going with an undertaker here.
Oh, he's got a great looking line on it. Just did not turn up enough for him. I did not like that.
Puts him inside the circle, but possibly obstructed.
And here's Miller with that TL again.
Exactly.
He's hoping this will flip up for him. And it does, but it looks a little short.
Yeah, there's a low ceiling here. I think Steve maybe overcorrected for that a little bit. Really good shape, but short in the fairway.
And there's Chris again. He seemed to get it up a little higher, but no, that's a putt.
Yeah, very similar shape to Paul's. Used a little more of the fairway instead of trying to flip up.
What was that you threw there?
Well, it was bad. It was a Z Undertaker. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I had a bad grip, if I just didn't believe in the shot. So now I'm forced to kind of lay up with a zone.
That was a great out, though. Give yourself an easy look up here. Even a chance to run it a little bit. Ooh. That was a great bid.
Yeah, it felt wonderful. It would have been kind of stealing a stroke back from the course, though.
Yeah, sometimes the course takes away those strokes, and you got to take them whenever you can back. Don't ask questions and just walk on.
Chris having to work for it.
Yeah, that's the Chris we know.
Yeah, using the branches, just getting up over the rim.
Yeah, a little speed check for him there.
Doesn't look like it changed much.
No, not much. Probably would have been about 2 inches higher. That's about it. That was a great putt.
So now Paul having to deal with kind of the same issue. He's got to straddle out a little bit and low ceiling.
Oh, just a little bit low on that. That's what that low ceiling will do to you.
Yeah, you can hear him talking about it before it even got to the basket.
Guess when you're that good, you kind of know immediately, don't you?
Yep. Well, I assume. I can't project on what Paul's like.
I know I can't putt like him, and I usually don't know if it's going in until it doesn't go in.
All right, so Chris is going to take a stroke on everybody there. And we're going to move on to hole 15. Again, throwing across this valley. We're using the long tee pad. This is the only change on the dark side for this year. We saw lots of changes in round one on the sunny side. But now, instead of kind of being a putter mid, this is a difficult, low ceiling, slight turnover shot.
Yeah, you can see Chris there showing off his disc to Paul, and then showing off his disc to the fairway here.
Yeah, whatever he did, do that.
That was... All right, you taking notes there?
I'm trying to. But I get a little bit worked by Paul and Chris here. They throw very good shots. Paul with his signature buzz. But they have more power than I do. And I saw both of these shots, and I thought they came up short. Miller's going with a fairway driver. I think a road runner. And I was looking Comet. I went with an Undertaker instead. And I followed Miller instead of the other two guys.
Tried to throw it a little bit too hard and didn't release on time.
Yeah, kicks me out to an okay spot.
There's a tickle on the chains. I love your reactions, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a good attitude.
Oh, wow.
It's better to be lucky than good, Paul. All right, so Chris and Paul are going to get their birds there.
That was a great cleanup there by Miller.
Yep, and don't look now. Chris has just gotten 4 of the last 5. So he's definitely moving back into some respectable territory on his score.
Yeah, he's only 3 back of Paul now at 15 down, and Paul's at 18.
16 is very possibly the hardest par 3 on this course. There's a little OB pond in front of the gap, and you need to move left. It's rare that you see discs get all the way to the basket.
What is that, like a 12-foot wide fairway the whole entire way?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the same angle of 12 feet every time. Chris with a pretty good shape on that, but he tags a fairway tree.
Not happy about that at all.
Yeah, that about says it. He threw what he wanted to and couldn't get the good result.
Here's Paul going buzz again.
It's either a buzz or a wasp. And that is by far the best shot I have ever seen on this hole. It was in the fairway the entire time, penetrated all the way to the backside, very close to the circle.
Miller, a little early on that one.
Yeah, so he's going to be down on what was hole 17 of Sunnyside. And I've been over there. I don't like it. It's scramble territory for sure.
Looks like you wanted to go down there.
I didn't want to, but I was headed there. I ended up on the left side of the fairway. Should be a fairly safe layup. Chris now under the basket.
Oh, Miller going with a little sky thumber here. Well, that didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, that's the nature of the dark side, though. You're going to end up in an uncomfortable spot. And what you do with that, as Steve throws an FL right to the basket, what you do with that is really going to define your round.
That's right there. You know, you're on the edge of the fairway, and you know you have no chance, so you just lay up and move along.
Yeah, I think my brain had a little thought of trying to run it, and my body wouldn't let me. Paul gets the birdie. That's big for him. It means that he's going to be back up 3 strokes on Steve Miller, and definitely the mental boost of kind of coming back from some difficult struggles in the middle of his round.
Yeah, this is a good time to have it happen too. The end of the day, end of second round. You can move on into the after events here, which are pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. This isn't just a tournament. It's kind of a hangout experience for a lot of folks in the Mid-Atlantic. Hole 17. If you can believe it, it's going to be a right turning fairway in the mid 300s. Very specific line. The same way as hole 11, you want to kind of start to the left side but get all the way to the right side. If you don't do that, you're liable to end up getting knocked down by some trees on the left side.
Oh, here's Paul. What's he throwing here?
I think this is another wasp, just a really beat up one.
He really seems to like to work those beat up wasps, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he threw this nice and high. You can see that it was going to fade out to the left side. So he's probably 50 feet with a chance at running it, but it may be a little scary.
Let's see what Chris can do here. And drying off those slimy hands of this humid Virginia weather.
I'm interested to see that Chris is going with a mid-range backhand here. I believe last year he was going forehand most of the time.
I haven't seen many forehands out of him today. He gives himself a long look. He doesn't seem happy about that. You're going with that ESP Comet again.
Yeah, this is the flippy one, and I want to make sure that it gets all the way to the right.
Oh, that's moving pretty good.
Yeah, you see the difficulty in getting it all the way to the right side, though. I needed to throw that, maybe a little flatter to start instead of a touch of hyzer.
Well, and here's Miller throwing that rock again.
That's the height you need. And it's turning. That's going to come out, though. Kind of stalls on him.
And he gives himself a long, kind of a look. There's Chris from about 50. Gives it a good bid.
Yeah.
Short, though.
Very responsible bid in that he gave it a chance to go in, but not in such a way that it was going to end up way past the basket.
Paul from about 45. And the leaks down a little bit early on him.
Yeah. Both of them had the benefit of the hyzer shape. Miller has to take the anhyzer and just low.
Oh, you got a decent look right there. Ooh. Little low.
Yeah, not thrilled with that.
Oh, I wouldn't be either.
It felt like my best chance to score in a while, and the footing was a touch weird, but I missed it. That's what I did.
Yeah, it also would have been nice to pick up a stroke on the whole card there, too.
Right. This hole doesn't give it up too easily. I see a lot of threes, not that many twos, not that many fours. So everybody's going to get to move on to hole 18. We do the ceremonial handshake. And for our last hole, we've got 299 feet straight uphill. Very difficult rough on both sides. A field goal to hit about 80 feet short. This is the edge of mid-range for me. A lot of folks will go fairway just so they don't have to throw it super hard.
And there's your ceremonial handshakes.
Here's Paul going with a buzz, I believe.
Oh, that flips up pretty nice.
He made the field goal, but didn't quite get the finish he needed.
Here's Chris with, was that PA3?
I want to say it's a mid-range, probably an M3 or M4. And we've seen him go with an F5 on this hole before. Interesting to see that he's switched to a mid-range here as well.
There you are, going with that Comet again. That was not the flippy one?
Oh, that was the flippy one. I just started it right side with a lot of hyzer instead of to the left side near flat.
Here's Miller going with the fairway driver play. He's not going to like that.
Yeah, none of us really have the look that we were hoping for.
Well, this is after a long day playing sunny side out in the heat, and then you come out here dark side and get the crap kicked down to you by the rough. Yeah, take your par and go home.
Yep. This oversized flag gets me every time. Just hangs down into the basket. Oh, Paul grabs a little bit of metal on that hyzer putt.
Let's see if Chris can end on a big putt. That's the slimy chains here, and they'll do that to you.
It's rare to see that level of emotion out of Chris. He did everything right on that putt, just didn't get rewarded for it. So we're all going to have to take threes on our final hole. Definitely a respectable round for Steve. He's going to come in with a 49. We only saw 3 rounds under 50 on this entire round from the MPO field. We had Steve and Chris, who are both going to end up with 49. And then from Concord, North Carolina, Ryan Kinney shot a 48, which was the hot round. And that will bump him up to lead card to join Chris, theatrically putting his 3 in, and Paul and Steven.
Oh, well, that was another great round there. It was great doing commentary with you, Fish. It was awesome to see you throw. You'll be joining me for the commentary on the next one?
Yeah, I'll be here for commentary. Probably not for the screen time.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah. So enjoy these highlights. Thank you again for watching. Hit that like and subscribe buttons. And we'll see you next time in round 3.